All right, just finishing up this video quick then. Keep this one short. So when you're rocking a car, when you're stuck in the snow, it's kind of, you don't think about it, but it's kind of common sense because what happens, let's put the tire inside kind of a rut here. So here's the tire. So in order to get it going, you basically, you push it forward. The tire then rocks forward and doesn't escape. What you then do is you let go, you don't push it any longer, and I'll use green to represent the car's kind of momentum or energy back. And then as that tire reaches its max on the backswing, you then have the car with its own energy, and then you add your own energy to it. So now you're amplifying that rocking motion. What you're doing is you're amplifying the wave. So if you want to think of it, in this case, you got the wave started, the wave returns back to the rest and goes past. Now you are amplifying it. I really don't have a scale there, but basically all I want to say is that this particular max is greater than that one because you're increasing or you're adding energy, you are amplifying the wave, so you are creating sort of a resonance, all right, until the tire can actually escape. Okay. Same thing with pushing a child on a swing. When you push someone on the swing, you push them at a location where it makes sense. So for example, swing in stage 1, you give them a push. You don't continue to push, especially when they reach their max, because in stage 2 here, at this point, the swing has gravity and some kinetic energy to bring it back. And then in stage 3, when that swing comes back and reaches its max, it still has some energy or kinetic energy, but now you increase, you add energy to the system, so you are amplifying that wave. So we talked way back at the beginning, I used a swing as an example of a transverse wave, and this is what you're doing, you're adding energy every time you reach a max. Okay, so in both situations, here and here, you're adding energy to the system. And reaching resonance. Has anyone been on a swing before? Think of this as an experience. Have you ever been on a swing before and you get going such to a point that all of a sudden the swing, the bar that's holding the swing starts to flex or vibrate? You've reached the natural resonance of that length of steel bar. So now your swing is causing that steel bar to sway back and forth. That's an example of resonance. For some people that live in older houses, okay, when a large dump truck or a large truck drives by, do you have windows that rattle, or do you have something in the house that shakes, like maybe a china set? I know my wife, she has some, we had to get good dishes when we got married. Apparently that's tradition, and they stay in this cabinet that you look at, but you don't touch them, so I really don't understand how that works. But anyway, when we have very large transports go by, and they apply their brakes, their Jake brake, what happens is the dishes in that cabinet, they vibrate because the sound waves that the transport is sending out causes the dishes that are set up for display to vibrate. So they must be matching, or it must be fairly close to their natural resonance. So it's kind of cool. So anytime you have something big rumble by or go by and something in the house shakes, it means that whatever was outside causing that noise, the waves that it created were close to the natural resonance of something inside your house. Okay, pretty cool. And finally, the baseball bat. So for the ball players in here, I'm going to simplify this. All right, but you have your bat. All right, and there's really 2 locations that we're interested in. Here's kind of the nodal point. So this is where your hands are, and this is where you strike the ball. Okay, so I'm just going to label hands, hit ball. So that's the bat before you actually hit anything, let's clone that. That exact same picture over here. And we'll clone it one more time. So I got 3 diagrams that I want to go with here. So the hands hit the ball, hands hit the ball. Actually, no, don't worry about that. I'm gonna have to change it a little bit here. Anyway, so if I keep that kind of standard where the hand and the ball is hit, if you hit it right in the sweet spot, the ball, what happens is you swing and you strike the ball, your bat will flex, like something like that. Probably won't go that low here. All right, so this is very rare that you get the bat to flex in one wave like that. It's actually more common, so I'll put an or here. This is kind of how your bat reacts when it strikes the ball. So it comes down like that. So the ball creates, and of course this is exaggerated quite a bit because we're not talking that much flex in a bat. But what this nodal spot represents up here in both cases is a sweet spot. And for ball players, you know what that is. But for people that don't, the sweet spot is when you take a swing, you hit the ball, and you don't feel any impact. So you've hit it such that you've struck the bat at an exact harmonic location on the bat that it will flex and will the nodal point doesn't affect your hands, I guess, so to speak. So if I try to think here how to show it, nodal points remain in line, right? So when you strike a ball and you don't even feel it, same with golf, if you hit the sweet spot, you can't even tell you struck the ball, and that's because you hit it at a nodal point, a natural nodal point on the bat. So I'll just put, this is pretty rare. The bat doesn't usually do this. This is common, how the bat will flex when you strike it. And for those ball players, if you've ever felt a stinger, if you feel a stinger, so that's when your hands just feel like they got a shot of electricity or vibration. So you go back to the dugout after grounding out and you're still shaking your hands, they've gone numb, so you feel a stinger vibration. You have some of the ball's kinetic energy. So it's been transferred into your hands, and that vibration that you're feeling, not very nice to feel, but that's what's really happened. All right, so that's that vibrational energy. So what have you done? You've probably hit the ball in a bad location, like right here, or maybe off the end of the bat. So something that's not in a natural location for the bat. So the closer you are to the sweet spot, the less and less you will feel in terms of striking the ball. But as you move further away from that sweet spot, that vibrational or that stinger action happens. Okay, so that's why that occurs, is when you're missing the nodal point on that bat. So I know it was a long lesson, I apologize. Ended up rambling a little bit too much in there, but there's the homework for next day. If you have any questions in class, we'll get that cleaned up. So make sure if there's anything you want clarified, make sure you watch the video. I know, like I said, it's gone on for a while, but the Tacoma Narrows Bridge video is really cool to watch and scary in some aspects as well. And then definitely try the applet out and play around with it a little bit. We will see you in class.